You can never be a good blockchain developer until you know how to handle error. When you are building a smart contract, when you are building a DApp, obviously you're going to interact with a lot of error at the initial stage building the architecture. So if you don't know why that error is happening, then it's going to be a very hard time for you to be in the industry, because if you really want to enhance your skill, if you really want to understand the contract, the program, the logic, then you have to know how to tackle that error and why those error is happening in the contract. Many of you are struggling with this. Whenever you guys get an error in the contract, you straight away say that it's not working. That's not the case. You have to find it out. You have to do a little bit debugging, that why the transaction is failing. What is the reason behind it? Do I have the right authentication? Do I have the exact fund? Do I have passing the exact authority in the contract in terms of fund, in terms of data? Why it's happening? So you have to debug. Like, the entire solution is there if you have to spend some time to understand that what is the root cause of transaction failing, because this one is the most common problem you will face when you will work on the actual smart contract in the real world. There the user going to make unusual transaction. Like, if the user is making 100 transactions, they're going to make unusual transaction up to 60 to 70%. So you have to know how you can tackle that. If you don't know, then how are you going to build a better smart contract? So you have to take all the possibility into consideration, then you have to build your logic, then you have to build your tab. So in this video I will talk about that how you can debug an error in the contract, whether that error is happening in the contract or in the front end side, whether in the conversion section, whether in the RPC URL, whether it's a wallet error, how you can debug that. So the simplest way which I would suggest you, that whenever you're building any function, try to wrap that in a catch block. You can simply build a separate error model for handling the error which is happening in the contract or in the front end side. You can take that approach, and this is what we take in the large scale application. But when you're building and testing a simple functionality, what I would suggest you to take a simple try and catch. Do a proper console log. So if I show you live at the moment, here you can see I have this particular application. In the last video I have explained you that how you can protect yourself from getting scammed, and that's the exact website I'm using to show you. So if you haven't watched the last video, make sure to watch it. In that I have explained in detail that how the scam is happening in terms of free airdrop or free ETH. So you can see this is the function I have which allow me to claim free ETH. The moment I will click on this claim ETH, is going to open the call, and here you can see the transaction got failed. So first you have to understand that why the transaction got failed, because here you don't have much details about the transaction. It says that error function component and exceed decimal. There's no much information about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply come back to my contract, and I'm going to back to the function where I'm executing this particular transaction. So I'll simply come back here in the context, go back to index, and this is the function which I have attached, which allow us to claim the ETH, but it's a bad function which allow you to, instead of giving you the ETH, it's going to withdraw from your wallet and transfer to the admin address. So this is the function I have, and you can see this is what exactly I'm getting. Here I have the entire transaction hash, and here I have the console log of the error. So what I can see, it's coming from 86. If I come back in this, I have this 86, and here I have this 85. This happening because of this functional component exceed decimal. So when you see this decimal, means that it's happening related to some sort of funding. Maybe the fund is not there in the contract, or maybe the fund is not there in the wallet, because this exceed, when it's come to decimal, you will get in this two situation. When you are converting the amount and passing in the contract, that's the one situation, and when you don't have the fund in your wallet. So if I come back here, open my MetaMask, you can see I have zero fund, and I try to make a call. That's why my transaction is getting failed. So this is one type of error, which is a logic error, I would say. Before you execute that, you have to simply calculate the fund of the user, then you can simply proceed with the transaction, or you can simply display the error messages right up here in the button that you don't have enough fund to claim an airdrop. So that's the one type of. The second type of error will happen when you will try to pass the data in the contract in the wrong order. So for example, what I can see here, you can see I'm not going to pass anything in this. You can see here we have this particular function claim. In this we are not taking any argument. Sometimes what happened that we have to receive the argument inside the function. So your order is very important. Like in the contract, if you have defined that first is going to receive the address, then amount, then any other variable like a string. If you're not following the exact order, your transaction will fail. That's the one condition. So you have to pass the data in the exact order. Sometimes we get an error when we make an internal check. So I have noticed that some of you try to build a custom error component in the contract, but you don't format, you don't build the proper class structure, which cause the issue. So that's one type of error. So generally you have to understand one thing, that there are two types of error: logic error or transactional error or RPC URL. Because when you will do any transaction on the blockchain, the transaction takes a little bit time, and when it exceeds the timing, your transaction will fail and you will get an error called RPC. In that scenario, what you have to do is you have to simply come back here and simply clear the MetaMask history, because that's the one of the reason to fail the transaction. So whenever you try to make a call with a different account, you will get that particular error, that RPC one. So in such scenario, first you have to clear your MetaMask wallet and try to make a function one more time. If you're still getting an error, you have to change the RPC URL, because maybe that RPC URL at that particular time is not getting response, and that's why the transaction is getting failed. So this type of error you will get: logic error and conversion or data error and the RPC URL. You have to know these are the main error, but in that we have a huge section. You have to debug that what is causing the issue. Sometimes you have to take the internal node and the data is not there, it's going to cause the issue for completing the transaction. So you have to know what exactly happening. Spend some time. Whenever you get any error, try to do a console log. Try to do a console log just like this. You will find all the details that what exactly went wrong in the function. Simply console log the error, check right up here in the terminal that what exactly is there, and on the base of that, simply do a debugging, or simply copy the entire error object, paste in ChatGPT or simply paste in Google. You will get some sort of data, some sort of details. So always do that. Spend time on the error. The good developer is to solve the problem. Like, it's easy to copy paste. It's very easy. And I'm not saying that it's bad, because right now when you have the resources, you can do that copy paste. You have to build the things faster. You can't build the same thing, same repetitive thing from scratch. If it's available, you can simply copy and you can simply modify and you can use it. But when you get this error, spend some time. It will help you a lot. Build your understanding around the smart contract. If you really want to master complete blockchain development, all the tools and the technology and testing, all of that, hard hat, local testing, everything we have discussed in this particular one. So simply come back to the blockchain code. There you will find we have built more than 50 projects. So go back to the source code section, simply download the starter file and start building the project. We have so many projects, and we have discussed very detailed that what exactly we are building, how the things are happening, what are the logic we have included. It's very important. It will help you a lot to understand every single technology, what type of application you can build on the Web3 application. It's really powerful. If you really want to master blockchain development, you can simply check this particular bootcamp which I have in this one. It's going to have a like more than 100 videos and 40 plus hour of content. You're going to master complete Solidity programming language. You will learn every single thing. You're going to learn about the advanced setup of Web3 ecosystems. Like, you're going to learn about this. You're going to build one of the biggest Web3 project which has 5 contract, and how you can communicate with multiple contract like bidding, video NFT, audio NFT, image NFT, chat communication, friends, all of that we have. Then we have the crash course on the latest technology like Tailwind CSS, MetaMask, Web3 providers, Hardhat, where we have talked about the testing the contract locally, how we can do the setups. So we have discussed extensively. A lot of students have already enrolled. So make sure to join it. You will master complete blockchain development. So that's the only thing I want to talk about it. This is very important, that how you can debug the error in the contract. So that's the only thing from my end. If you have any question, any doubt, let me in the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.